Hello and welcome to the South West Herts local history TV channel. And my name's Chris Ogle, and I'm joined today by my regular cohort, David Sawyer. Come and say hello, David.
Good afternoon, Chris. Good afternoon, everybody. Nice to be back here and talking about this wonderful town of Watford of ours.
So what have we got on today, David? What surprise have you got for us?
Well, this is it. I didn't tell you last week because last week you surprised me with the extra photographs and left it to the last minute. This week, Watford Junction station, which has seen a lot of changes over the years, and it's quite surprising how old the station is, really, or the original station, shall we say. So
well, we've got some pictures. I haven't. We'll flash them up on the screen in a little bit. So, what have you been doing then? Have you gone right back to kind of when it was first?
I've gone back to when the new Watford station, as it was called back in 1862, was built. They'd had other bits and pieces around there, but they weren't sufficient when they started increasing the amount of traffic that was going through the station train-wise, and they needed something a bit bigger. And they came up with one of the pictures that we see there. It's almost a pen and ink drawing, really, rather than it, because we're talking 1862, and photography wasn't as good then as it possibly is now.
I dare say it wasn't. Right, shall we flash the pictures up then? Let me go get them. Hang on a minute. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Get rid of that. Okay, so let's go to this one.
That's the one.
Right, okay, so
not overly clear, as you can see, but I get information from the book of the history of Watford, which is got so much information in there, and I looked this one up, and the newly opened Watford Junction station, and it looks just like a country halt, really, on the station, with nothing else around it. You can't see any of the hotels or anything.
Well, there's a building to the left-hand side, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, but there's a long driveway as well right next to it, and I'm not quite sure where that goes to. Perhaps that could lead now to what is the car park.
Well, where is the railway line in there?
Well, this is it. I can't see it. It must be behind those buildings at the back. But some of the information I've gleaned about where the railways go, and they used to have railway crossings in Lotes Lane. So that must be going to the Rickmansworth branch at one stage. There's nothing in that would show that there would be anything there.
Yeah, obviously an unusual thing. So we're not quite sure. Not quite sure where it goes from there. But anyway, it's a thoroughly interesting picture, isn't it?
It is. It's the beginning of the major Watford Junction as we know it now. Okay,
so let's progress on to this one.
This is a good few years later, 40 odd years later. This is the station bedecked, all the railway station staff, and there seems to be quite a lot of them there. And they're just waiting for the Earl of Essex's train coming in just after his wedding.
Now, is this out front of the station?
It's out front of the station. A different type of canopy there. This is obviously within, say, talking, it was rebuilt in 1909. The station. Right. So again, the old station has gone, and they've increased the size of it yet again. And I'm just looking at that rather closely, and if you look towards the centre top, there appears to be what could possibly be an American flag. I've certainly seen a striped flag.
There's a bit of stripiness on it, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, it could almost be an American flag. Can't see a Union flag anywhere.
It looks like a theatre, doesn't it?
It does, more than anything else. And if you notice the staff all the male staff wearing bowler hats.
Yeah. Well, if they are, staff, are they wearing bowler hats?
Certainly ones in
there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the right. He seems to be wearing a flat hat.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. They're actually wearing uniform hats, I think, but I think that must be the management people in the centre of it, because I doubt they were actually involved in the day-to-day running of the station. Quite honestly, there must be the big wigs come down. So you've got the Earl of Essex coming down. We've got to be there to greet him and show him how good they are.
It looks a bit Charlie Chaplin in the middle, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's one there that's just in sort of third way along from the left. And he's actually in a grey suit as opposed to the dark colours.
Yeah.
The same as there's one, again, about the same distance on from the right, wearing grey trousers.
Yeah.
A couple of people sticking out.
So this was decorated up for the Earl of Essex arrival after he got married. So
yes,
this was Castlebury House, was it?
That's right. He lived in Castlebury House at the time. So, yeah, he was coming back by train. Wow. I don't know how he managed to get there from Watford Junction to Castlebury House. Must have been a carriage, horse and carriage, I should think, at that time.
Yeah, probably.
Or because he's nobility, it could well have been a nice old Rolls Royce horse.
Okay, so that's then. What we got next? What's this then?
This is we're going a bit further on now. This is the goods yard, and this is the 15th Battalion of the County of London Regiment. They're in training. They get on the train. This was actually in the goods yards there. They didn't actually have the soldiers on the station. They all went to the goods yard and got on the trains there, which is a bit of a step up, as you can see from the first chap leaning out of the window on the right-hand side.
Yeah, that's a jump, isn't it?
It is a bit of a jump. There's no mounting blocks or anything there, or platform. And it looks like the ladies have come to say goodbye to them as well, and brought the dog in as well.
Yeah. So these are soldiers going off to
war.
When was this?
I haven't got a date for this, but it looks as though it could also, looking at the uniforms, I suggest it could possibly be First World War and the ladies' clothing.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's as late as Second, does it?
No, it doesn't. I mean, the ladies' clothing certainly seems a lot closer to 1914 than 1939.
Yeah.
Because the uniforms are almost jodhpurs that the soldiers are wearing.
Right, so that's in the goods yard. So no soldiers allowed in the station, by the looks of it.
It doesn't look like it, does it? But something to mention about that later on.
Okay, so next one.
This has got to be, of course, during the wartime as well, because very unusual. But there's ladies collecting the tickets at Watford Junction station. Oh, good grief! Excuse me.
You're in demand, Dave.
Right, let's stop that. Yeah, so female staff there, and they thought it odd enough that they would go and take a picture of it to show it. I mean, just look just above it, you can see a date, June 1916.
Now, those I don't know where I've seen them, but I seem to remember those round turnstile things somewhere. I don't know whether they were still there as late 60s or something.
Well, I think they would have probably lasted quite a time. Again, looking at the garb, it's got to be around the 1916 mark. So men away at war, apart from that gentleman there handing his ticket in. And again, bowler hatted.
Yeah, it's interesting. And obviously, female ticket collectors, obviously a bit of a change then. Okay, so this is Watford Junction of my earliest recollections, I think.
Sorry, Chris, can we hold it? Someone's obviously trying to get in touch with me rather urgently.
Yeah, sure.
Hello? Yes. Yes, indeed. 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, no problems. Cheers, Jeff. Bye. Bye. Oh, chap confirming his pickup for tomorrow morning at Gatwick.
So this is the earliest recollection I can have of the station in this kind of layout. I don't remember it well, but it was.
Yeah, this is post-war, because it's actually saying it's looking a bit shabby after all the troop traffic that's gone through there. And you think, well, they got a new goods yard. So what did they get that from? Yeah, it's easy to blame the troops for something like that. You know, all these people marching through, unless they actually march through the station and down the platforms to the goods yard. But that's looking a bit more like the layout that we have today. But I think it must have been rush hour. Look at all that traffic.
Yeah, but I don't know whether it was still open, like, you know, to the left there. When I remember it, I just can't remember quite how it was, but I seem to remember it being a bit like that with a small station, and then they enlarged the station significantly, or whether they closed it in, but you still had the two basic buildings either side. Can't quite work it out.
I mean, it looks like the entrance is off to the right hand side. That looks like part of the old station, doesn't it?
Yeah, but then you've got some buildings on the left there as well, behind that car.
Yeah, which is
where
the Clarendon Hotel.
I don't know, but it's sort of like that. I don't know when that all got redeveloped, but it got redeveloped. I don't know when it got redeveloped now, but it's gone through a few incarnations, but the one that it is now is a redevelopment. I think it's been redeveloped twice actually, but you had all you had the old metal, old traditional metal girders holding up the roof, and the roof was quite ornate, and that was going back. It was still like that in 1980.
It was very late on. It took some time before they actually redeveloped it again and built the office building on top of it.
The Iveco stuff on top of it.
The Iveco building as it was then, but we have a picture of that to look at in a moment. But,
yeah, that's a really interesting picture, that one. Yeah. And then you got this one here, which is kind of how it is now, isn't it?
That's right, and that's the station underneath the Iveco. What was the Iveco building? I'm not sure if it still is. I don't think so.
No.
But you'll notice that one of the significant changes there is that the cars are actually on the forecourt. See cars on the forecourt?
Yeah, the cars were allowed to go round in a sort of circle, half moon around the front of the station, picking up passengers.
Yeah, there were actually two loops in there. The outer loop was for the taxis, which then drew up right next to the station itself. But there was an inner loop which was extremely difficult to manoeuvre for other people dropping off at the station, because it was a hairpin, and only possibly a taxi could have had, a black cab could have had the turning circle to get round it in one. But it was a matter of manoeuvring round to get round the bend. So you come in from the right-hand side, coming up to the left, and then you loop back round. And so that was very tight.
You can see there the flag. They've got that ornate sort of outside.
Well, that was, the balustrade there.
Yeah.
That was then the Clarendon Hotel.
Right.
Because that moved from the St Albans Road. to its position there before it became, was it the Flag and Firkin and other incarnations.
Is that how that building is now?
I think that balustrade is still there.
No. I mean the station.
No, I mean there's been some further developments on that. As I say, where the cars are now, that's all pedestrianised, and the taxis now have to pick up on the road on the left, which is the one going down to the car park.
Yeah,
and
that's
that actually rank up on the left-hand side of that road, and then they have to turn around and rank up or pick up passengers from the other side. But that means to say, if they're ranking down through the tunnel to the car park, it's causing havoc with the people coming out the car park during rush hour.
Yeah.
And it just you see the set of traffic lights there, but one of the other further developments just a bit further around by Clarendon Road. When they redeveloped that site, they put in another set of traffic lights there to control the traffic coming down Clarendon Road and the road on the left, which is I can't remember the name of the road now. The one-way street coming down towards the junction there from like the Escort Arms and what have you.
Oh, yeah.
But those traffic lights broke down one day, and they found that the traffic moved a lot better without them. And so they took
it's
them away.
the same as a Dome roundabout, and they're better off without the lights on there.
The problem is they haven't taken them away from the Dome roundabout yet.
No.
But they did. They listened, and it's much better. Yeah, these ones are virtually pedestrian lights.
Yeah.
I think at this point, because there is a crossing now, just the other side of that road on the left, which takes you right across towards the NatWest building.
Yeah.
But, the way it's changed and changing for change's sake, they had a great problem at one stage with the taxis there, because the site is owned by, I think it's Silverlink, the train people, and they wanted to charge the taxis a fee for ranking up at the station, which amounted to something like 80 pence a day, which in the scheme of things is not very much at all. But the taxi drivers railed against this, and they went on strike. And the station then brought in a private hire company, which caused even more problems, because the regulations between the station taxis, the black cabs, if you will, which are hackney carriages, who can pick up from the street, and of course the private hire ones, which are not allowed to pick up off the street. It was a moot point of law, because the private hire company put in a kiosk there, so people go up to the kiosk and book a taxi from there and then get into one that was already ranked up there. That was their way of getting around it. But that has since been resolved, and the taxis now, as I say, they rank up on the left road going down there, and also right up Clarendon Road and round by the police station.
Yeah. It's a real bit of a noise, really, isn't it? The whole thing.
Well, it is. It causes so much problems. I mean, now they've redone it and they've moved the drop-off zone further down the road. They now have one disabled bay actually in the station, which is, you have then, once you park there, you can go out through the bus garage part of it, the bus terminal. But again, moving the drop-off zone where they have, if it's raining, when people get dropped off or they're going to meet someone in that particular point, they're just going to get absolutely soaked. They've got too far to go to get to their car. It's customer care.
Well, apparently the whole thing is now got up for, I don't know whether it's Connect 4 or I don't know what the rail company is now, but they're Richard Harrington, the MP for Watford, and all the different various people with a vested interest in getting it sorted out are back in the melting pot for another stab, which would be 4 times in 5 years.
I mean, there is a road that would be ideal for the taxis, which comes actually off the bridge in St Albans Road. If you're coming from the gas stand, just come over the top of the bridge, and there's a gate on the left-hand side which goes down to the car park. And wouldn't it be a much better idea to have that as an entry? And the other one,
the one you're talking about, at the top of people walk down there near there, don't they, to get to the station?
Yeah, there is a footpath down that way as well.
Yeah.
It's it seems a waste to just have that there and only used on the occasion, I think, for deliveries or something like that. But you know, it could create a big one-way system in there, save the taxis. Then,
well, they miss all the traffic at the lights at the junction and all that stuff. They just pull up there, couldn't they?
Yeah, it makes more sense. I mean, they do that something very similar at Paddington Station, where they queue up over Bishopsbridge Road. On there, around the station forecourt fairly clear, and the traffic then misses the traffic lights and makes life easier all round. But that's Watford Junction Station. Love it or loathe it, and the traffic situation around there. It's there, it's ours, and it's a gateway into Watford
And London.
A gateway to London and Birmingham and places north.
Yeah, so that you can't anymore, I don't think, get a train up to Scotland from Watford Junction. You have to go into London to come out, don't you?
Yeah, and when you come out, you go through Watford Junction.
Yeah.
It always saying if they ever get round to building the new train, the HS2, which is going to save you 20 minutes on the journey to get to Birmingham. But you've got to go into central London to get it, which is going to take you half an hour or more. Which seems absolutely ludicrous, really, and spoiling a lot of the countryside. It's an integrated transport system, so I'm told.
We'll have one of them.
Yeah, put it on the side for me. Just tell all the people that are going to be disrupted by it in the areas they work. But again, Watford's grown up around the railways.
Yeah.
John Brickman talked about Metroland when we had the Met line coming into central Casbury Park, and now of course we're going to get the Met line extension into Watford Junction, which it should have been in the first place, we know, but Watford has grown up since then, and I can remember actually back in the 80s seeing the Bakerloo line trains come into Watford Junction.
Well, they did.
Yeah, they used to come in there.
I mean that was. Well, they were just running on the old overground line, weren't they? Really, weren't they?
Well, yeah. But again, they now I think stop at Harrow Weald or something like that. And you have to change the overline, which is again not a good idea, because people just keep changing trains all over the place. It just causes chaos on those stations. Just have the line running all the way through. It makes more sense. And if we get the Met line going in there, get a couple more stations. The line that used to be from Watford Junction to Croxley Green, was closed down. You had that station right there on the Two Bridges roundabout, the Croxley Green station.
Yeah.
Now it's virtually going to come across from the viaduct near Baldwin's Lane, across to Ascot Road, Vicarage Road, and then round to, I think, Lower High Street, I should think, from there. And into Watford Junction with the Met line, which would be great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks very much. The next show would be Boxing Day, so we're not doing that. So it's going to be, I believe, 6, 7, 8, the 9th is the next show.
The 9th. Oh, that's a very propitious day. Happens to be my birthday.
Oh, will you be doing the show on the 9th on your birthday?
Yes, I'll do the show on my birthday.
Brilliant stuff. All right, well, I look forward to that then. So, well, Merry Christmas to you, Dave. This is the last show, and I will be seeing you, of course, before I go away at the end of the week. But it's been fun. We got a while now to prep up for the next show. We don't know what it is yet, I guess, so we'll have to just announce it early in the new year and see what happens.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks very much, Chris, and Happy New Year to you, and Happy Christmas, and to all our viewers.
Absolutely. Okay, well, that's all from us this year. We'll see you all on January the 9th, 2017. Have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll have some more history of Watford and the South West Herts for you next year. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers now.